Hi, and welcome to Simple as That. I'm Farron.
And I'm Andrea.
And today we have a fall show lined up for you. Some easy fall crafts that we've found on Pinterest, and they're very simple. Anybody can do them, but we're going to walk you through them and just show you how easy they are. So we're going to start with a fall garland, this that we've made here. And so how did we start, Andrea?
Well, we bought some rolls of a ribbon that we thought really worked well together. We had saw this and we really loved the color scheme and the way it worked, and it really worked with our own home decor. So we bought them and then we unrolled them and we cut each one into 9-inch strips. And then we sewed each one. We actually went through and sewed all of the orange and all of the white, and then we joined them together with the black and white and then sewed it as well. We wanted it to be permanent.
So that's why we chose to sew, and we got coordinating thread to match so that doesn't stick out funny or anything. And the reason why we just chose 9 inches is we thought it was a good size for this width of ribbon, but that can be adjusted accordingly because there's thicker and thinner, obviously.
Right, like this is about 1.5 inch ribbon, and if you were to use like a 2-inch or a 3-inch ribbon, you might want to make your strips longer so that the holes are bigger, especially if you want to sew, because that makes it easier to sew it, because this is about the limit on. You could probably make them a touch smaller, but not much, because it can get challenging to get your needle in
get
there.
them under that needle.
So that is how we did ours. But you could also use Scotch, like double stick tape would work great if it was just something temporary that you wanted to do, and maybe you wanted your kids to help and they didn't know how to sew. It would just be really slick and easy to quickly put together. And double stick tape is hidden so that you can't see it. And it goes together really fast.
So it kind of just adjoins there on the inside, and you don't see the tape at all.
Right, and you can then kind of monitor how long you want your garlands to be. We did 10 of each ribbon, so this has 10 of each color, and it amounted a little over 6 foot long, which was really nice. I think that you could go longer if you had a space that required it. Let's say you wanted to do it over a doorway and you wanted it to hang longer down over the doorway. I think that's kind of what we had seen on Pinterest that someone had done, and that was really neat. Or you could just drop them into a pile, because they kind of look really cool and they pile up really neat. You could stretch it and make it even longer than the 6.5 foot.
There's so many ways to display it.
Yeah.
And one thing that we've talked about that's going to be something that you can apply throughout the whole show is if you wanted to make this garland for another holiday, you just can switch out your colors or whatever scheme you're working with and apply the same concept.
Right, like you could pull out the orange, and you already had these made, and so pull out the orange and you could buy, let's say, gold or a slightly muted gold and add that in, and you could use that anytime. It would be neutral and could be out on display or anywhere in your home at any time. You could substitute the orange for red and use that, and then have it out at Valentine's or Christmas or whatever. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So we chose to sew because we wanted this to last a long time, but for the ease of changing out the colors, maybe tape's a better option for you. So that is pretty much how you make this fall garland. And then we're going to move on to our next project, and it's called a thankful tree. It's displayed right here, and so we're just going to step you through the steps and supplies that we used to make it. So we started with some scrapbooking paper. Here is the scrapbooking paper. We got glitter paper.
Yes, we wanted it to, some of it's glitter and some of it's a metallic paper. And we wanted it to be able to catch the light and shimmer. And we chose pretty neutral tones, and again, threw in a little bit of orange in a glitter paper. And that's the cool thing about this. This could go from early fall all the way through Thanksgiving, then you could switch out your orange and use red or pink or whatever, and you could keep it out longer. But it's just a way for your family to write things that they're thankful for, or thankful for each other. And
so we gathered all of these supplies at Hobby Lobby and then around the home. We use this hole punch. It's a little over 2.5 inches big, or round, I guess. And then, so we punched them out. It does not have to be that size. Whatever size of punch you have or can borrow or whatever.
Right, and you can even do tags or even just cut it up into squares and do maybe little diamonds all over and put the hole in the corner of a square, and that would be fine too. You don't have to have a round one, but we did, so we used this. And then just a easy hand punch is all you need for the hole to hang it on, and then you just slip the little hole over the branches, so you don't even need a hanger.
And I don't know if you can tell or not, but those are not real branches. We bought those at Hobby Lobby so that we can have them throughout many seasons and not having to go out and find them each time. But if you want to go in your backyard and find twigs, you could do that as well. Yeah,
I have done that, and it does work, but they do tend to get really brittle inside, and so they don't last very long. And it's not an expensive investment, so I encourage someone, they have options for different types of branches at Hobby Lobby, so you don't have to worry about them breaking down or getting brittle, and that's really nice because they can tend to make a mess if you leave them alone. Like I have a kitty, and she has a tendency to try to get into the real live stuff, so yeah.
That's a good option. And so just to wrap that project up, what we thought was we'd sit down with our family and write on them on Sunday or, throughout the month of the season. And then you can even continue it throughout the year. So we're going to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to make some peppermint scrub and twinkling twigs. And so come back and join us to make those.
Dignity, respect, professionalism, commitment, and fairness are the 5 core values you can expect from All Faiths Funeral Chapel in Smith Center. At All Faiths Funeral Chapel, they consider it an honor to serve you and your family and their community. Built in 2010, their large state-of-the-art facility includes dining and reception hall to accommodate large funeral dinners, even anniversaries and weddings. They also sell customized monuments and offer pre-arranged services. All Faiths Funeral Chapel in Smith Center.
Angels Care Home Health, serving Russell and all the surrounding areas, is a Medicare-certified home health agency providing quality, skilled nursing services to patients in their homes or wherever they reside.
She takes my blood pressure and listens to me breathe and asks me how I'm doing.
Whatever the need, Angels Care is there to help 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Contact Angels Care today for more information on our home health services and how we can help you stay healthy. Angels Care Home Health, we serve patients.
When a storm leaves your home battered and damaged, there's only one thing you can do. Forget all about it. The men in black at AquaShield Roofing and Construction have the skills and knowledge to fix your home so you'll forget the damage ever happened. Along with roofs, they do siding, guttering, insulation, windows, doors, and more. With offices in Hugoton, Oberlin, and Liberal, they're never too far away when damage strikes. When you need to forget about home damage, call the men in black at AquaShield Roofing and Construction.
Did you know?
It's not just water, it's better water.
Better Water Smith Center completes all your hydration needs. They sell Lundy spring systems, including water softeners, reverse osmosis, water coolers, and bottled water. They won't just install your system, they will service and repair it too. Better Water can repair Echo water systems and all other major brands. They offer softener salt sales and delivery for your convenience. Serving all of Northwest Kansas.
It's not just water, it's better water.
Hi, we're back on Simple as That, and we have made 2 crafts so far, a thankful tree and also a fall garland. So if you missed that, you'll have to rewind and watch it again, but now we're gonna move on to peppermint scrub. So let's get going.
All right, peppermint scrub is really simple. We found this recipe on Pinterest, and it went to a lady's blog. It only has 3 ingredients: granulated sugar, coconut oil, and peppermint oil. And if you can find a really good essential oil, that would be great, because you'll be much happier with the product once you've created it. And it just seems to be more intense when you use it. Your whole body will just feel cool after you're done using it. So it's 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of coconut oil, and 20 drops of the essential oils. And we doubled the recipe so that we could fill 4 of these smaller containers. So
it's a small recipe.
It is, yeah.
If you're making it in mass quantities for like gifts, then you're going to want to double or quadruple the recipe.
Yeah, and I think sometimes if you do that, it might be better to make multiple
Small batches.
smaller batches, because then I think sometimes you lose a little bit of integrity in the recipe if you go too far. So it might be smart to just make multiple batches.
So shall we back up and say real quick, you can find the essential oil at like a health food store or a health store, or some people also sell them. So those are some places to look for that. Might be the one thing that in this whole project is the hardest to find. And then coconut oil is very popular right now, and you can find that just about anywhere.
Yeah.
So,
and I wouldn't be too concerned about whether it's a virgin coconut oil or whether it's just there are different types. Probably an inexpensive one for this project will be just fine. And then granulated sugar, the same thing. It doesn't have to be a really expensive one. It can be a very inexpensive one. In this project, then the only thing you're really spending money on is your essential oil, and that's the part that you really want to be good. And the results will definitely be better if you spend a little more on that part.
That's the quality ingredient. So let's get started in making this.
Okay, so Farron, if you would, let's measure in 1 cup of sugar.
Okay. And have you already heated the oil?
Yes. The coconut oil comes in, it's a hard liquid. So you have to, or it's hardened inside the jar. So what you'll want to do is put it in your microwave for 1 minute at half power. You don't want it to be hot, you just want it to be melted or smooth. And so what I did is I have done that, and then you're able to pour it out of the container, and we need a full cup. We'll measure that out and put that in. And then we're going to take 20 drops of your essential oil. And so all you have to do is just tip it and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
And while she's doing that, I'll just talk about, there's all kinds of little jars that you can find. We chose these. I'm not sure how many ounces these are. Do you know? Maybe
I think they're 4
ounces.
Yes.
But they also have little squattier ones that would be really cute for this as well. We just found this size and thought that would work well. So.
And we're using a glass jar and a metal spoon. One thing about it, when you're using essential oils, they'll have a tendency to leave a residue behind. So if you use plastic, it has a tendency to absorb those scents and oils. So I would recommend you use a metal or a glass container when you do this project. And that way, like if you used a wooden spoon, it would actually absorb some of that. So you don't want that to happen. And then, so we're just going to stir this to combine it.
We made a batch of this ahead of time, and when we were making it, it just smells like candy. Some peppermint candy, so it's really, really yummy smelling.
Yes. And all it has to do is be incorporated. And then you just take your jar. And fill each jar.
And we thought this would be a fun gift idea for, you could do these for stocking stuffers or to give to your girlfriends, and honestly takes no time at all to make these. So, and you can dress them up real cute, and we'll show you a couple ways that we've found to do that.
Yes, and like my kiddos, it's nice to have something to give their teachers when school starts or during the holidays, something special, and this is just something that you can quickly do. And
the neat thing is you can make these up way ahead of time, and they're gonna last for quite a while. So if you have time now in the fall to make them ahead of time to give out at Christmas time, then you're one step ahead of the game. So, because we all know how busy Christmas season is.
And once you've got them all, we don't want to waste any of it, so we're gonna okay.
So while we were shopping at Hobby Lobby, we found these really cool lids that are already painted that you can write on with chalk markers. And so we thought that was pretty fun. Then you just switch out the lid that it came with and put them on top and write a little message or write the name of what it is. And then we're going to dress it. We saw this online with some rosemary and baker's twine.
Yeah, we were thinking for Christmas gifts, this looks really fun because you have baker's twine, red and white baker's twine, and then you can just wrap your little sprig of rosemary around. Hold
Hopefully
that for me, Farrah.
It gets caught and then it falls off.
Yes.
If you don't have rosemary, you can find greens at Hobby Lobby or whatever.
Yes, or your grocery store during the winter time sells rosemary quite often because it is a hard herb. We'll explain more about that, but it's a very hardy herb. So then you have your little wintry sprig.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Yeah.
Fun way to dress it up there and move that so we can see it better. But we also found another way online, and Andrea made some of these for her girlfriends, but she found these tags already made online. She just printed them out. We used the same punch that we had used for the thankful tree, and they fit just perfectly in there, and then you just place those on top.
Yes, and then you can just put that either inside or you can adhere it with double stick tape and put your lid on.
Okay. So then all of the work's pretty much then done for you. You don't have to worry about having a chalk marker and this and that. So then it's already done.
Yep.
So those are some quick ideas that we've made. Do you have any final thoughts about this?
I did notice, and this is something that you might think about, and when you get all of the ingredients dispersed in all of the jars, you can tell that there's some additional oil on top because the sugar settles. And so you can actually go back and you could just take a spoon or a really small measuring cup, and just dip into the sugar and fill the tops just with a little bit more, and that way it absorbs all of that oil. But I will tell you, once it's set up, you can see these. Once it's set up, there's no oil that sits, and the coconut oil will solidify again.
It's hardened.
It gets hardened, and so you really don't have to add more sugar in it. But I just think it's nice to have a little bit more sugar to fill it all the way to the top.
Yeah, you bet. So you can find this recipe and ideas on our Pinterest page. We'll be updating that. But right now we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll be ready to make twinkling twigs.
Make a difficult choice an easy one with Cedar View Assisted Living's knowledgeable and caring staff. Your loved one will be professionally taken care of as they transition into their new community. With movies, holiday parties, planned exercises, and games, residents will have opportunities every day to enjoy their time at Cedar View. Multiple room styles are available, ensuring a just right fit for your loved one. Come see Cedar View Assisted Living for yourself next to Sternberg Museum. The care you need, the home you want.
You're in the right place, the see it before you buy place, the professional staff place, the have it delivered place. Frigid Air Gallery and Genuine Appliance has real stainless steel with fewer fingerprints and smudges. Ranges with true convection speed bake. Quietest in its class dishwashers. Refrigerators with the freezer on the top, the bottom, or side by side. Frigid Air Gallery and Genuine Appliance at 1224 East 27th and Hayes. The best price place. You're in the right place. New technology comes out every week, and it can be hard to keep up with new features and buttons each new phone, computer, and tablet have. You could soon be the tech-savvy person in your family if you watch Nex-Tech University. Available on Nex-Tech Channel 1 and Nex-Tech VOD, Nex-Tech University will give you the tips and tricks to master your latest device and make you the person friends will run to with questions. Watch Nex-Tech University on Nex-Tech Channel 1 and video on demand.
You should never run out of the important stuff.
Really?
If your current wireless plan leaves you at the end of your rope, imagine how you'll feel with Nex-Tech Wireless with unlimited everything. Nex-Tech Wireless gives you the freedom to go as far as you want. Nex-Tech Wireless, something different.
Hi, welcome back. In our last segment, we made a peppermint scrub, and we just wanted to say, we forgot to say that you can use this on not just your feet, but your whole body. And you use this a lot, don't you?
Yeah, I had received a peppermint scrub from a friend as a gift, and it was wonderful. And especially if you exercise and you are really hot and you can't get cooled down, it's a really great way because the essential oil naturally just kind of gives your skin a cooling effect. So that's really great. It's nice if you're not feeling well. It will help clear your sinuses, and of course essential oils have a lot of intrinsic values, I think, that are beneficial. So yeah, there's lots of good things that you can, and yes, it is edible.
Yeah, I asked on the break if it was edible because it smells good enough to eat, and it is actually.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good thing to do or not really, but
I don't know
if you wanted to taste it, I guess it might not hurt you.
No, it won't hurt you. So if your child gets into it, hey, they'll just be very, very much on a sugar high for quite some time.
Yeah. But
so, yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. So we're making what we're calling twinkling twigs, and let's get started on it.
Well, I think let's start with our end result. So this is what we have created, and we went on a scavenger hunt, and our goal was to find twigs that were a 1/2 inch around in diameter or smaller, and they had to be fairly straight. They could have some character, but they had to be fairly straight. And so all of that in itself we thought would probably take us quite some time, but we ended up finding a whole pile of sticks, and they worked perfect. So
yeah, we just got a bucket, went to an alley, found a bunch of sticks, thought it would take a long time. I thought it would take a lot of sticks. It really didn't.
No, so we had a small bucket. It was actually an ice cream bucket, and we filled it full, and we brought it back to the house, and they needed washed off because they had kind of a dirt dusting on them, and we knew that we wanted to glue them, and that wouldn't be very helpful. So we washed them off and let them dry for 24 hours before we did the project. And once they did, we found different. You can use any piece of glass, a vase.
Yeah,
you could use small little votive candle ones. Obviously, the straighter the sides, the better. But I really liked this goblet because it kind of raised the light up. And so for this, if you had a cylinder or even a square with straight sides, you wouldn't have to use a ribbon or a burlap. But for our use, for this, and this was just something we repurposed. It was something that we had gotten flowers in, and so we just...
So we already had it, so we didn't need to buy one with straight edges. So we wanted to figure out a way to go ahead and figure out how to attach those sticks to the vase without having to buy a whole new one. And we found that any ribbon would work. We have burlap ribbon would work. And so what we did was just measure how much we would need by just wrapping it around here and kind of eyeballing it. We did just a little bit of overlap, maybe a 1/2 inch. Cut that to size, and this is just the most time-consuming part of the project. And it's not a lot of time.
No, it didn't, maybe take 15 minutes to get it all done?
Yeah, I would say. There's just a little bit of prep involved. So, funny thing, what we did was first we cut all the sticks to size, and then we lined them up on here, what we thought would be the right amount of sticks that we needed then to put them around. But when you put this around, it stretches a little bit, and we needed a lot more sticks than we had lined up on here. So we suggest gluing this on here first, so then you have something to attach your sticks to, and you know exactly how many you need at that point.
Yes, this can kind of, if you lay it down and line them up on here, it kind of gives you an almost, because we were about 7 sticks shy.
Yeah, 7.
And so I would say, yeah, if you can glue it on the outside of the goblet or whatever you're going to use, the vase, and then this gives you a large area for the hot glue to attach to. And then so once it's here, then you just take each stick and
you just put a little glue on each stick and attached right to the burlap there. And just made our way around, and so that's what takes the longest on that. It doesn't take a long time by any means, just the most patience. That takes a little bit of patience.
Yeah, and so once you get done, you can't, the burlap ribbon is not really visible. It's just kind of hidden back there. And then we recommend that you use an electric votive candle instead of a fire one, because obviously they're sticks. They're going to start on fire.
That could be dangerous.
It could be dangerous. So, but these you can get at any department store, and
then you just drop it down in
drop
the
it
bottom.
down inside, and
It's totally not have the same effect in the daylight as at night, but when you turn the lights off, it just really has a really fun atmosphere.
yeah, it just sends different pieces of light all around the room.
So, and it's kind of, we put it into our fall show, but really this could go with any sort of season. It just is kind of whether or not it's your style or not.
Yeah, definitely.
So that is Twinkling Twigs. Recap our show here. What we did in the first segment was make a fall garland, and then we made a thankful tree.
And then we put together the peppermint scrub and finished out with the twinkling lights.
So if you want to make any of these crafts, you can look for more information on our Pinterest page, and always look for more shows coming up. And this is simple as that. We'll see you next time.